Hello everyone and welcome to a very special edition of Balls Deep Sports Talk with me, your host with the almost, the prodigal podcaster, your savior returning to you once again at long last, the one and only Scotty Ball. Did you miss me? Hopefully you didn't, because hopefully you've been listening to what I've been doing with VikingsDigitalDiaries.com, covering my favorite football team, the Minnesota Vikings. As many of you know, I'm a very busy person who does many different things with my time in life, and because of that, I simply have not had the means or the resources to put together and manufacture a giant 2 to 3 hour sports center, all-encompassing type of sports talk show that we had grown accustomed to over the last year and a half here on Balls Deep Sports Talk. But I've been wanting to find a way to get back a little bit more to our roots here with the podcast whenever life allows the opportunity, or whenever what's going on in the world of sports demands that I speak out. And so what I've decided to be the tentative plan moving forward here is that I am back, baby, but not in the way that you're used to. Like I said, no, what we are going to be doing here with the Balls Deep Sports Talk now and in the immediate future is we are going to record special, approximately 1 hour episodes revolve around one specific topic or thing, where there will be a focus and we will go balls deep on that one topic. And maybe we'll be able to do one a week, or one or two a month. Maybe we'll be able to do a couple in a week, with them being smaller and focused. I don't know, we'll see. But so that is kind of the tentative plan. The upcoming ones, which should be out, sometime within the next couple weeks, obviously, because they are time sensitive. I do plan on doing a fantasy football focused 1 hour long podcast in the near future, as well as a NFL regular season predictions preview extravaganza. So look for those two podcasts in addition to everything that I'm doing on VikingsDigitalDiaries.com on a weekly basis coming up in the next couple weeks. But let's get to tonight's show and what has brought Balls Deep Sports Talk back to the podcast arena, and that is what is going down this Sunday. Yes, warning alert, this is a pro wrestling WWE special edition show. That's right, Balls Deep Summerslam preview. Now, you all of my regular listeners know that I am a huge pro wrestling fan. As a matter of fact, I just found out that WWE's NXT is coming to Roy Wilkins in St. Paul on Sunday, September 18th, and I got 2 tickets to go see that. Oh, man. Can't wait. So get on that if you're fellow wrestling fans. But yes, this is going to be an entire episode podcast of nothing but pro wrestling talk, because we've got the big pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, WWE's Summerslam pay-per-view. It is basically their other WrestleMania event for the year, and we like to preview and predict and discuss, at least we always have in the past, the big WWE events. Now, as my loyal, longtime listeners are undoubtedly aware of, when it's time for us to talk major wrestling events here on the show, we bring in the big guns. That's right. Joining me on this special Balls Deep SummerSlam preview episode is our exclusive expert extraordinaire on all things pro wrestling, WWE guru, the one and only Doug Sanders. How are you, Doug Sanders?
I'm doing well, and I've been on here before, so if you're new, just accept this. Just accept that I've had a presence before.
That's right. When we have big wrestling events here, I like to bring in a co-host who is even more knowledgeable than myself, and it's nice to bounce our ideas off of each other, and hopefully it makes for good listening for you guys. But all right, so since you are our special guest co-host, where would you like to start off our pro wrestling talk here?
Well, I think that if we're going to talk wrestling, we got to talk about the biggest thing this coming Sunday, SummerSlam.
All right, well, is there a particular match that you want to start the talks off with that you're excited about, or what order you want to do this in?
I think we'll do our usual. We just start from the bottom, work our way to the best matches that we think are going to happen on the show.
All right, and kind of try to do them in the order that we think the matches are going to happen, but of course we don't know the exact order of the matches on the match card yet. That is always subject to change. So what do we got then?
All right, we got a best of 7 series match, and this is the first match. By the way, these are pre-show matches. Cesaro versus Sheamus in a best of 7 series match. And this is the first one, like I said. We also have a tag team match on the pre-show. Sami Zayn and Neville will team up to face the Dudley Boys. And our final pre-show match, our third, is a 12-man tag team match where American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and the Usos will team up to face off against Breezango, or as I like to call him, and so does Scotty Ball, Febreze.
That's right, it's a way better name. Way better tag team name.
So Breezango, the Ascension, and the Vaudevillains.
Interesting. Very interesting.
We also have the 6-woman tag team match. Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi will team up to face Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and to be a person that we don't know yet. It's to be determined on the show who their mystery partner is going to be, and there will be a reason once we get to this match why it's a mystery partner for now.
All right, we'll save that for later apparently. Okay, cool. So first things first then, I guess, is the Cesaro versus Sheamus on the pre-show in a best of 7 series match. So I don't know, that's kind of a new concept or stipulation, or way to go about a storyline and a rivalry in WWE. I'm a fan of it. We see that in sports series in the playoffs, a lot of best of 7 series where the first competitor to win 4 matches wins and advances is declared the winner. But I don't really recall ever really seeing that in WWE. So I like that new route that they're going there. As far as the 2 competitors they have chosen to be in this, I really like Cesaro in this, but I'm not sure if Sheamus is necessarily the best opponent or the most ideal opponent for him in this series. I would definitely think that this is part of a Cesaro push, but you never know. Sheamus they've got a lot of money invested into him, and they could really use some more top formidable heels on the Raw roster. But so like I said, I think we should get some good matches out of it, and ultimately I guess with this first one being on the pre-show, I would think that they'd start it off with a pop by giving Cesaro the win. And like I said, I also think Cesaro will ultimately win this best of 7, and you would think that it would, be tied up at 3 apiece and go to the 7th final deciding one that will be at some upcoming pay-per-view. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I'd like to mention that there was a famous Best of 7 series happened in Jim Crockett Promotions a long time ago, featuring Magnum TA and Nikita Koloff, which was also a 7 series for the U.S. title at the time. Well, basically the Jim Crockett Promotions version of the U.S. title, not the WWE version.
Right.
But anyway, back to the topic. I think that Cesaro is a great person. He's like one of the perfect choices you could do for this Best of 7 series match.
Agreed.
He's a guy that works. He's one of the best workers in WWE, one of the best performers. He may not be the best on the mic, but he's certainly got enough charisma to like carry himself, you know?
I agree, 100%.
And we also have Sheamus, who is the big heel opponent for Cesaro, and I think that this could be a great way to show how Sheamus has improved since he has debuted. He can show people that he's not just some generic foreign wrestler, you know, that we've seen in the past. Like, he's actually a good worker, and he's taking advantage of his surroundings. Like, he's just going to be a great heel. He's going to play with the crowd. I actually think he's a pretty good heel too. Like, I
agree.
And a lot of people just don't like him, which is good. That's what you want.
Yep.
It keeps the kayfabe. So clearly Sheamus is doing his job. And with this Best of 7 series, I think that Sheamus will maybe get some more recognition. Not as much as Cesaro per se, but like I think people might respect him per se a little bit more.
I think the only problem that they experience currently or recently with Sheamus, you know, which you brought up all the ways that he is succeeding in kayfabe as a heel. I think it's simply from a ratings and a draw standpoint that he has lost some of what he once had earlier in his career. I think that's the only element that's kind of gone missing from him that he had before when he was a little more successful and, you know, headlining some of these events or, you know, a major part of them.
His debut WrestleMania match was against Triple H, and he beat John Cena in 2009 to win the WWE title. That is rare. Like,
yeah,
you can't say much about that. Like, he's got some impressive facts, and really, WWE just didn't know how to carry him, really. They just they're kind of shoehorning him in the past, like the whole League of Nations. That was a whole shoehorn-in faction. You know, that had potential. Sheamus is a potential superstar. He still has potential, and I hope WWE doesn't fail with Sheamus. But clearly, they failed with him many times in the past, and maybe Sheamus can finally get his ground and get back on track, maybe a little bit.
Sure. So, what do you who do you think wins this match?
The first match?
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice if Sheamus won the first match, honestly, because I think that since Cesaro has won, I think he's won 2 times on Raw. He beat Sheamus twice on Raw, actually, I think. And it'd be cool to have Sheamus, a bad guy, kicking it off first.
You know, you're probably right. I think it makes more sense to have the good guy come back and win, especially when he's taking on a bigger, you know, larger opponent than he is in size, and also someone, as you mentioned, with the history and credentials that Sheamus has.
Clearly WWE hasn't lived up to with those credentials, you know, right now. But anyway, that's my thoughts. What do you think's gonna win? What do you think's gonna win?
Boy, like I said, I was picking Cesaro, but I think you make a better case here starting off. The bad guy should probably get the first victory here, since it's a best of 7 match series. So yeah, I'm changing my pick. I think Sheamus wins this match, but I'm still sticking with Cesaro to win in 7.
Whole 7 series. Yeah, yep. I agree.
All right, cool. So then next we've got...
We should do the tag team match.
All right.
So Sami Zayn and Neville will face off against the Dudley Boys. Now, clearly, this match is a thrown together match. This is a match where they throw people together just so they can have a filler match on a pay-per-view. This is clearly a boring, normal, average match that you expect.
Well, it's 4-0. There's no storyline or anything like that.
Like I said, it's
just to watch for entertainment purposes. That doesn't mean that it'll necessarily be boring, you know, on any level.
With Sami and Neville, they're obviously great performers and don't bore, you know.
Right.
Clearly, the Dudley Boys, they have not had much success